Hey everyone, Jack Walchesson here and welcome to WaveKey Body. We're super excited for you to get started. So we're putting this video together to help you navigate the WaveKey Body platform, make sure you're able to access the programs and that it's simple for you to follow along to. So with that said, we'll get into it. And here on the WaveKey homepage, we can access WaveKey Body in one of two ways. One of them is obviously clicking on this picture that says WaveKey Body, and the other one is this flexed arm icon that says Body when you hover over it. So click on one of those and that'll bring you to the WaveKey Body homepage. And here on the WaveKey Body homepage, we have the introduction video, so watch that. And then down here we have three sections that we definitely need you to take a look at before you start training. The first one is going to be educational videos. So clicking on educational videos, there's going to be a few short videos in here that explain very important things to make sure you're training safely and getting the best out of your training, understanding some common terms that you're going to see throughout the programming as well. So definitely do not skip the education. Once you watch the education videos, you can hop on into the self-assessment. And this self-assessment is where you're going to uncover any limitations that you may have not even realized you had in terms of movement that are limiting you in the water, in your wave key practice, and ultimately surfing your best. So you're going to go through this. We're using CARs or controlled articular rotations as a self-assessment tool, and you're going to learn how to look for any compensations that might show a limitation in a specific joint. We're also going to dive into some spinal stuff and then some table tests, taking a deeper look at things such as hip internal rotation, shoulder internal rotation, things like that, so you can get a really detailed view on a couple of joints in the body. Once you have the information from the self-assessment, go over to the program overview. Take a look, three quick videos just overviewing and outlining the three phases that each joint has in the program. So each joint has a 12-week program specific to it, and there are three phases, each 4 weeks long inside of that program. So take a look at this just to get an understanding of what the goal of each phase is in that program. And now we can go down and start training the body. So we have the information from the self-assessment, and we are going to hop into this figure down here with the red dots, which are the hot spots. So let's say, for instance, you want to train your knees. You click on knees and all the knee stuff pops up, and you click on that and go to that. Let's say you want to do hips. You click on the hips hotspot. All the hip stuff pops up. You can train each one of these individually. For example, we'll click on hip external rotation. We'll go to the hip external rotation page, and what you'll see here is the videos that are going to explain the exercises that are within the hip external rotation program. So these are the three exercises you'll be cycling through. And then, very important, make sure you click this and download this, because this is where all the benefit comes from, is the programming. So the WaveKey Body playbook. So make sure you click on that, download that, and we'll hop into this and I can show you guys what's inside of here. So this is the hip external rotation 12-week program broken into three phases. And we have a sample training schedule. Don't have to follow it to a T, just a sample of how you should be following this between doing WaveKey and WaveKey Body. And then we get into the phases. Okay, so on this phase, on this page, you'll have some important notes like this, talking about the intensities that we're training in for this specific page. Really important to stay true to what the intensities say. We show 100% intensity in the training videos that explains the exercise, but early on, just pay attention to what the intensities are supposed to be for the first phase, because we don't want to start ramping up at 100% right off the bat. So please follow this to a T. It's there for a reason, okay? So make sure we take a look at those notes, and then here is your training day. So as you can see for hip external rotation, this is what the workout would look like. And you can see here, so if we go hip external rotation, pails and rails, we have the hip external rotation pails and rails video. So everything is labeled so that when you look at what you need to do in the PDF here, you go back and you can watch the hip external rotation pails and rails video that goes along with it and tells you how to do that exercise. Okay, same thing for the rest of the program. If it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, you do all of 1 first, then you do all of 2 first, then you go into all of 3, and then you do all of 4. So follow it in that order. It's labeled for you guys to follow along to, and it's labeled for a reason. So that's what the programming looks like, the PDF WaveKey Body playbook. So make sure you are accessing that and seeing that, not just watching the videos. The videos explain the exercise. The program tells you how much to do it, at what intensity, and how often. That's the hip external rotation. As you can see here, we have all the other joints at the top here that we can click on. So let's say we want to go look at knees, and then we can click on knee internal rotation. It'll take us to the knee internal rotation page. We have the exercises that we would be using throughout the program for knee internal rotation. Watch those, they'll explain. Once again, click the WaveKey Body Playbook, open it up, and inside, same information, how to train, the exact workout, how it's listed, the intensities at the top, what to focus on for each one, and then obviously the corresponding videos on what to look for that exercise. So once again, knee internal rotation, pails and rails. We go back to here, knee internal rotation, pails and rails video. Watch that and it explains it. And the last thing I want to talk about is if you have an area or a joint that you've been dealing with issues for a long time, chronic issues, you've had pain, surgeries, things like that, some damage to that area. Make sure, obviously, number one, speak with your doctor before you start any training session. That's just the smart thing to do and the right thing to do. But if you have the go ahead to start training and you're confident to start training it, make sure early on we really stay at the intensity. We look at 60% of our max effort early in the first phase. If it's an area that you've dealt with issues in the past, maybe even start lower, 40, 30, just trying to put stimulus into the area because one, there's damage to the area, and two, it's a new area of tissue that we are training. So we don't want to just start ramping up and going through stuff because we think we're stronger than we are or we're better than we are. So it's really important to be honest with yourself and be true with yourself. So start lower and then you can ramp up as time goes on. And if 40% feels good and you feel better, you start to go up to 60%, maybe even stay at that 60% for, instead of just 4 weeks like it is in phase one, maybe do it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, right? Maybe follow phase one twice. Just a caveat for people who are dealing with chronic issues with things. So obviously, if you have specific questions on that, you could reach out and we'll do our best to answer that. But just be smart, start at a lower intensity, and you can always ramp up from there. So with that being said, hop on over to the WaveKey Body homepage, go through the educational videos, do your self-assessment, watch the program overview, and then start diving into training your joints, making them feel better, move better, practicing WaveKey better, being consistent with both of these, and feeling your best and surfing your best in the water.